Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you could lead as effectively as Deborah? This video will reveal the strengths and potentials that made Deborah a remarkable leader. You might be experiencing moments of doubt about your own abilities, but today I'm going to show you how to turn those uncertainties into strength and clarity. Curious? Let's explore together the path Deborah took to become an effective leader. Deborah didn't become a leader by chance. Her journey began when she heard God's call, which revealed her true purpose. This moment was crucial because effective leadership is not just about skills but a deep understanding of who we are and the purpose we were meant to fulfill. Deborah knew that to lead, she first needed to know herself, her motivations, and her weaknesses. This self-knowledge paved the way for focused and inspiring leadership, a clear reflection of what God wanted to accomplish through her. Self-knowledge is the foundation upon which leadership is built. When Deborah realized her role, she didn't hesitate to delve into herself to understand how she could serve best. This teaches us that, to discover our own calling, we must dedicate time to knowing our inclinations, talents, and limitations. This might mean setting aside time for reflection, seeking guidance from sacred texts, such as in Psalms 25, where David asks for the Lord's guidance, and even seeking feedback from trusted people in our lives. Identifying your calling is a process that requires patience and an open heart. Maybe you've already felt that there's something greater waiting for you, but you haven't yet been able to define exactly what it is. Like Deborah, you can start discerning this purpose by observing the areas of your life where you naturally excel and feel deep satisfaction. It could be in organizing, listening, advising, or some other skill you haven't yet recognized. The important thing is to stay alert and seek confirmation of this calling, because it's through it that effective leadership with purpose and direction becomes possible. Throughout the Bible, we find many examples of people who, by recognizing their calling, transformed their lives and the lives of many around them. Moses, for example, resisted at first, but by embracing his role, he led the people of Israel to freedom. Thus, understanding and accepting your calling is not just about your own fulfillment but also about the positive impact you can have on others. With this in mind, remember that self-knowledge is not an end but a means to something greater. It serves as the foundation upon which your leadership will be built, allowing you to move forward with clarity and determination. But this journey of discovery doesn't end here. Deborah, despite her strength and determination, was not immune to weaknesses. Like any true leader, she recognized that understanding her limitations was essential for effective leadership. This recognition was not a sign of weakness but of wisdom. Knowing where your weak points are allows you to better prepare and seek the necessary support to overcome them. Deborah did not hesitate to admit that she couldn't do everything alone, showing that true leadership includes humility and the ability to accept help when needed. This acceptance of weaknesses is a powerful step in the journey of self-knowledge. By identifying your weaknesses, you begin to see where you need to grow and, more importantly, where you can rely on God's strength. The Bible is full of stories of leaders who, like Deborah, recognized their limitations and sought divine strength to overcome their challenges. A classic example is the Apostle Paul, who in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, admits that in his weaknesses, God's grace was most powerful. But recognizing weaknesses is not just about accepting what cannot be changed. It's also about turning these weaknesses into opportunities for growth. Deborah was able to identify areas where she could improve and worked on them with determination. If, for example, you realize that you have difficulty speaking in public, it doesn't mean you should avoid that responsibility. On the contrary, it's an opportunity to seek training, study public speaking techniques, and perhaps turn this weakness into one of your greatest strengths. By observing biblical characters like Gideon, who also considered himself weak and inadequate, we can learn that God often chooses those who seem most vulnerable to accomplish great works. Gideon, despite his fear and insecurity, was able to lead Israel to victory. This shows us that the key is not in being perfect but in being willing to grow and adapt. So, as you deal with your own limitations, remember that these weaknesses don't need to be a barrier. They can actually be a platform for your growth and development as a leader. And as you learn to understand and overcome your weaknesses, you'll begin to see that they are closely linked to your strengths. Deborah didn't just stand out by recognizing her weaknesses, but by exploring and maximizing her strengths. One of her greatest qualities was her ability to listen and discern God's will, something that guided her decisions and strengthened her leadership. When we talk about effective leadership, it's essential to identify the qualities you already possess that can be used to guide and inspire others. Deborah had a quiet confidence, a firmness not based on brute strength but on conviction and wisdom, attributes that made her a trustworthy and respected leader. Identifying your own strengths is a crucial step for any leader. This requires honest self-assessment and often seeking feedback from others who may see your qualities in ways you can't. For example, you might discover that one of your greatest strengths is empathy, the ability to understand and feel what others are going through. When applied to leadership, this can completely transform how you relate to and guide your team, creating a more collaborative and harmonious work environment. These strengths, once identified, need to be cultivated and used strategically. If you have a natural ability to solve problems, use that to your advantage when facing complex challenges. Just as Deborah used her wisdom to counsel and judge fairly, you can use your strengths to bring effective solutions and guide others in times of uncertainty. And as Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7 teaches us, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. To hone your strengths, you can engage in activities and training that challenge and expand them. For example, if you want to strengthen your communication skills, you can enroll in public speaking courses or join groups where you need to speak publicly regularly. If your strength lies in organization, you can look for methodologies to further enhance this capability, such as the GTD, Getting Things Done, method for managing your tasks and projects. Exploring your strengths is about recognizing and accepting what you do best and then using those abilities to positively impact the people around you. By focusing on your strengths, just as Deborah did, you are creating a solid foundation for your leadership. But it's important to remember that these strengths reach their true potential only when balanced with the wisdom and humility necessary to keep learning and growing. Deborah teaches us one of the most valuable lessons about leadership, the importance of balancing strengths and weaknesses. She not only recognized her strengths and weaknesses but knew how to balance them to lead with wisdom and effectiveness. This balance is essential because focusing solely on strengths can lead to arrogance, while concentrating on weaknesses can generate insecurity. Deborah, with her God-given wisdom, knew how to maintain this harmony, ensuring that her decisions were just and balanced, reflecting the true purpose of her leadership. Maintaining this balance requires self-knowledge and humility. It's crucial to remember that leadership is not just about power or skill, but about service and responsibility. Jesus himself showed us this in his leadership by washing his disciples' feet, demonstrating that a true leader is one who serves. Likewise, Deborah knew how to use her strengths to guide and her weaknesses to connect with those she led, creating a relationship of mutual trust and respect. To apply this balance in your own life, start by reflecting on how your strengths can be used to compensate for your weaknesses and vice versa. For example, if you are a very organized person but have difficulty delegating, you can use this organization to create efficient systems that make it easier to delegate tasks. Or, if you are an excellent communicator but struggle with technical aspects, You can collaborate with someone who has that skill, forming a strong and cohesive team. Balancing strengths and weaknesses also involves taking care of your emotional and spiritual well-being. To do this, it's important to create moments of pause and reflection, where you can reassess your decisions and strategies. Prayer and meditation, as Deborah practiced, can be great allies in this process, helping you maintain clarity and focus. The Bible reminds us in Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9, that two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and balance in all areas of life. Now, before we continue, take a moment to subscribe to the Divine Prosperity channel, like this video, and check out other content we have here on leadership and personal growth. This will help you continue developing your skills and reach your full potential, ***. With this balance between your strengths and weaknesses, you'll be more prepared to face the challenges of leadership and guide others with wisdom. And it's precisely this preparation that makes all the difference when we talk about vision and purpose, as Deborah well taught us. Deborah's leadership was deeply shaped by her clear vision and defined purpose. She didn't lead out of vanity or personal ambition, but because she understood the role God had given her. This clarity of purpose is what gives meaning to leadership and makes it effective. Deborah knew that her mission was to free Israel from oppression, and this vision guided each of her decisions, keeping her firm even in the most challenging moments. Just like her, every leader needs a clear vision that lights their path and inspires others to follow. For Deborah, her vision was an extension of her faith, and her purpose was the manifestation of that vision in action. This teaches us that leadership is not just about being in front, but about having a defined direction and an unwavering commitment to that direction. If you haven't defined your vision yet, start by asking yourself, what does God want to accomplish through me, and how can I best serve those around me? The answers to these questions can bring a clarity that will change the way you lead. A clear vision also helps align your leadership with the needs of your group or team. When everyone knows where they are going and why they are going in that direction, it's much easier to work together and overcome obstacles. Deborah was respected because her vision was evident, and people trusted that she was leading them toward a better future. You can apply this in your life by setting clear goals and communicating them effectively to those around you. Biblical examples show us the importance of leading with purpose. Joseph, for example, despite all the adversities, never lost sight of the vision God had for his life. He went from slave to governor of Egypt because he understood the divine purpose behind each challenge he faced. Like Joseph and Deborah, when you lead with a higher purpose in mind, your leadership transcends obstacles and inspires others to do the same. The alignment between vision and purpose is what differentiates an ordinary leader from an extraordinary one. Deborah showed us that when we know where we're going and why we're going, nothing can stop us. And it's with this same determination that we must face the challenges on our leadership journey, always with a clear vision and a firm purpose in our hearts. No leadership journey is free of challenges, and Deborah's path was no different. She faced enormous obstacles, from the resistance of enemies to the hesitation of the people of Israel to follow her leadership. However, what set Deborah apart was her ability to face these challenges with resilience and unwavering confidence in what God had promised. These moments of adversity didn't shake her; on the contrary, they strengthened her determination and reaffirmed her commitment to her vision and purpose. Effective leadership requires more than just technical skills; it demands a resilient mindset. Like Deborah, who led Israel to victory despite unfavorable circumstances, you can also overcome leadership challenges if you are mentally and spiritually prepared. This involves maintaining a positive attitude, even when things don't go as planned, and learning to see obstacles as opportunities to grow and strengthen yourself. Overcoming challenges is an essential part of the leadership journey, and the Bible gives us several examples of how to do this. Take King David, for example, who faced the giant Goliath with nothing but a sling and his faith in God. He wasn't intimidated by the size of the challenge, but trusted that God would enable him to overcome it. Similarly, you must trust in your strengths and God's promises to face any challenge that comes your way. To deal with daily challenges, it's crucial to develop a series of practices that help maintain resilience. This can include praying daily for wisdom, meditating on the scriptures for strength and clarity, and surrounding yourself with wise counselors who can offer support and guidance. Additionally, developing the ability to reflect on your experiences and learn from them is key to turning challenges into victories. The challenges you face as a leader are opportunities in disguise. They test your faith, your determination, and your ability to lead with integrity. But like Deborah, you can emerge from these challenges stronger and better prepared to guide others. And it's this process of overcoming that shapes extraordinary leaders, capable of inspiring and transforming lives. Deborah stood out as a leader not only in her time but also as a timeless model of leadership. Her legacy goes beyond battles won. It lies in how she inspired her people, led with justice, and served God with all her heart. As a prophetess and judge, Deborah demonstrated that effective leadership is one that combines wisdom, courage, and compassion. Her example is a powerful reminder that to truly lead, you must first be a servant of God and be willing to do His will above all else. Applying Deborah's lessons to contemporary leadership is simpler than it seems. First, it's essential to recognize that leadership is not about exerting power but about serving others. Deborah showed us that an effective leader is one who genuinely cares about the well-being of the people they lead and uses their position to promote justice and peace. Today, this can mean making decisions that benefit the team as a whole, even if they are difficult or unpopular. To be a leader inspired by Deborah, it's crucial to cultivate the qualities she demonstrated: courage to face adversities, wisdom to make just decisions, and compassion to understand and meet the needs of others. Practicing active listening, for example, is a way to show compassion and respect, qualities that make leadership more human and effective. Additionally, constantly seeking wisdom through prayer and reflection is essential for making decisions that align with divine principles. Deborah also reminds us of the importance of being a servant leader, someone who puts others' interests above their own. This type of leadership is what truly transforms lives and inspires genuine loyalty. When we lead with a heart willing to serve, we reflect God's love and show that leadership is ultimately a call to love and guide others toward goodness. Reflecting on Deborah's leadership leads us to a fundamental question: what is needed to become a leader like her? The answer lies in daily cultivating the qualities she exemplified, seeking God's will in all decisions, and always being ready to serve. With this in mind, anyone can become a leader capable of leaving a lasting and meaningful legacy. The journey of Deborah teaches us that true leadership begins with self-knowledge and is sustained by the balance between strengths and weaknesses. But more than that, it shows us that leading with purpose, clear vision, and a resilient mindset is what sets an ordinary leader apart from an extraordinary one. Now, the big question is, are you willing to apply these principles in your life? Are you ready to become the kind of leader who transforms, inspires, and leaves a lasting legacy? If you want to grow and develop like Deborah, the first step you should take is to start working on your self-awareness. What are your strengths? Your weaknesses? What is the purpose God has placed in your heart? Apply this knowledge and watch how your ability to lead transforms. And to continue learning about leadership and personal growth, subscribe to the Divine Prosperity channel and turn on notifications. This way, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos, where we'll explore even more ways to grow and prosper in all areas of your life.